What's going on, y'all? This is another episode of Forgotten Plugins. So, this is where I show a plugin that I forgot that I purchased or haven't used in a really long time, or just flat out didn't know that I had it in my plugin list here. And today, that plugin is the Elysia Envelope. So, this is a transient shaper from Elysia, and I didn't know I had this one. It's been hidden in my plugin list here in Studio One. So let's take it for a test spin and see what it can do. Right now, my go-to transient shaper is the Waves Smack Attack, so I can dial it in really quick and easy. And this doesn't have a lot of controls, so we'll see what this can do and how this sounds on this drum bus that I have here. But let's go over the controls really quickly. So as with all the Elysia gear, the hit it means engage. So with that out is bypassed, and with it in, it's in. You've got three different modes here. So the first is the full range mode, which where it's just going to operate over the full frequency range. As with all transient designers, you got your attack, where turning up the dB is more attack, turning it down is less attack. And really quick note here, this does support the mouse scroll, so that is nice. So SCA, this is side chain attack. So you can think of this as like a high pass filter. So, if I set this to 80 hertz, the attack is only going to work on 80 hertz and up. And then this knob here we have is the sustain. And we've got automatic gain just for automatic gain compensation here when turning up the signal with the attack and sustain here. All right, dual band mode. So dual band mode, the attack and sustain is the same, but here we've got frequency A, which is frequency attack. Again, this is like a high pass filter, but with dual band, now it turns frequency S, which is frequency sustain, to a low pass filter here on the top end. So for the sustain, wherever you set this is going to be where it's going to go up to as it's processing the sustain of the signal. And lastly is just shelf. This one is just pretty straightforward. This is going to turn this one into a got gain here on a low shelf. You can set your frequency here, and this is the this is the high frequency for the highs and frequency for the lows. Is that right? It says frequency L, so I'm thinking that's frequency low, and frequency H is frequency high, but I would think that the high would be first. I guess not. Okay, so, well, I guess we'll figure it out once we get to playing with it here. So those are the three modes that you have here with the envelope. So let's get into it and hear what this sounds like. So I'm going to take it out. We'll go back to full range. Let's kind of set everything. Let's see. Let's try to find a quick way to set it back to flat. I'll just do it with the mouse here. All right, so let's give this a spin and hear what it sounds like. So the attack is really adding some nice punch to it. I'm really liking the sound of what it's doing to the kick drum here, adding that attack. Let's take a look at the dual band mode. Okay. And lastly, let's take a look at the shelf. Okay, really nice and smooth shelf EQ here. So the yeah, this right side is the low, which is that's weird to have the low on the right and the high on the left. But yeah, I really like this EQ. This is I feel like this is something that I would forget has an EQ and wouldn't necessarily be one that I would just reach for. If I would reach for this first four transient shaper, and I'm gonna have to start to use this on my mixes because I really like what that did to the kick drum there. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to start using this. So this is I'm kind of mad at myself right now that I didn't know I had this and haven't been using it because before the Wave Smack Attack, I can't even think of what transient designer I was using before the Wave Smack Attack. I think the soft tube one. But yeah, this is really easy to dial in, so I'm really liking this. The UI feels a little small to me, like the alpha compressor as well. But once you get used to it, knowing what these, what the modes are, then I think you're good there. All right, so that's wraps up this episode of Forgotten Plugins. Again, this was the Elysia Envelope. You can get this from Plugin Alliance. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time. I want to invite everyone to check out my new podcast, the Faders Up Podcast. It's a podcast about pro audio. I've got me and three other Nashville professionals. We're discussing pro audio topics, pro audio lifestyle. And it's available on Apple Podcast and it's available on Spotify. So check it out, rate it, let me know what you think.